All right, we're back. It is COMP123 in the summer 2016 semester, and it is week 1, part 2 of our broadcast. We're gonna probably have 4 parts because 2 parts today and 2 parts on Friday, right? So this is part 2. We just talked about setting up GitHub, and I know some people have having some difficulties. We always do. We talked about how to connect up with GitHub up in Visual Studio, right? But we didn't really talk about test-driven development, which is a new topic in, well, fairly new topic in computer science that I'm introducing to you as something that we're going to use for all of our assignments. So I'm just going to kind of minimize this thing for now. And I'm going to bring up this PowerPoint presentation that I've got up for you. Yours is a PDF version. Mine's just the PPT, right? There it is. And let's talk about what test-driven development is, right? And what it's not, a little bit. I want to talk about unit testing a little bit and what test-driven development is an overview. And really, when we talk unit testing, think about testing like of our code. And the smallest parts of our code we can really test within reason is a method, right? We've learned methods like last semester or the semester before when you guys had it. So you know about methods. So imagine if we, oh, look at that. I even made a mistake today when I typed it. Imagine when we do a test the output of that method. That's what we're really doing with test-driven development. Each method is a unit, and what we're doing is when we do unit testing, we test each method. That's what we're doing, okay? To make sure that the output that we're getting is the stuff that we think we should be getting, right? So planned versus actual. Here's our planned output, or our expected output. Here's our actual output, all right? So test-driven development then is this process that uses unit tests, right, to really design software, and it drives the development process. And why? There's a couple of really cool advantages. It really gets you to understand what your intentions are. So we have a grouping of requirements, let's say, we get from our customer. Our customer or our business comes up with some requirements. These are our business requirements, right? We want to meet these business requirements or solve a problem with our code. That's what we're doing, right? Well, the better way to start is to start with testing in mind from the very beginning. It's a different form, a different approach to software development, right? As opposed to you just write, and if it works, you're good, right? That's not how we should do it, right? Because that means you'll write yourself into a corner sometimes. This is more, it requires more of a plan. Now, there's a lot to test-driven development, and I'm really just scratching the surface here. Like, I can't really go into too much detail because this course isn't about test-driven development. You'll learn about it in other courses. But I want to talk about it because I'm going to be using it in every one of your assignments to test whether your assignment is a pass or fail, right? If your tests all pass, you're going to get full marks. If some tests fail, then you won't get full marks. You'll be able to mark yourself. That's what I want to do, right? That's the idea behind this whole test-driven development thing. So it gets us to, like it says here, clear intentions. When we say encourages decoupling, sometimes what happens is if we write a method and then another method depends upon it, and another one, that means if I make a change to my first method, sometimes I have to make a change to all the ones that are depending on it. It's really, really apparent this way for classes, and you guys really haven't covered classes and objects yet. But think about if I make something, it creates a domino effect of changes that I have to make down the line. So if I have an upstream change I have to make, all the downstream components have to change too, which is really deadly. It means a lot of rework for us. And as software developers, we get marked. When you have your performance review with your manager, he marks you on rework, right? Lots of rework means you didn't do something right. You're not coding right, right? You're not really that efficient. It enhances debugging because basically we're able to detect problems really, really early on, which is really cool. Helps more efficient code. So there's kind of like a 3-step process, right? It's kind of this red-green refactor. I got this really cool thing that I found on lynda.com. Actually has this whole course on a little bit on test-driven development. So I kind of stole this little logo here, but or this little graphic. So red-green refactor. It's really cool. Red basically says we make a test to fail, right? So you want to make sure that the test fails first, right? So that we know when a test fails, it's real, right? Then we make it pass. That's the next step. So make it fail first, then we make it pass, and then we look and see if there's an opportunity for us to refactor our code and remove any kind of duplication, any kind of inefficiencies, that kind of stuff. That's really the process. Right? And it's kind of detailed here on slide 8. I'm not going to read this again. And we repeat this every time for every method. Every single time we write a method, we do red-green refactor. A test for the method. Now that you might say, wow, that's a lot of extra work because you're making a method, then you're going to make a test method. So you write a method and then a test method. The test method tests the method. So you're doing really at the end of the day. You're doing double the work. But the great thing is you can tell if your expected results are right. Right? We're going to do that today with the Hello World program we're going to build. And so it'll illustrate it for you. There's 3 steps inside when we actually do each method. So again, 3 steps for the whole process, red, green, refactor. But inside each method, to kind of illustrate those steps, we're going to do something, there's 3 more steps: arrange, act, and assert. I like these ones. When we arrange, we kind of initialize variables, we create some variables for testing, right? Things that we're going to capture. We're actually going to assign the output from our method that we're testing into the variable, an expected output, let's say, right? And then we're going to assert. Assert means to test if the expected output meets the actual output. If it's equal, if there's a couple tests we can do, but the most common one is they're equal. If they're correct, if they're the same, test passes. If it's different, test fails. It's very simple. So I know I can say it, but you won't be able to understand it until you see it. So let's do it, right? And this is where we'll try and knock this one off by the end. Now, if you don't finish your lab, remember it's due Friday, so you get some time to figure this out. Let's do this together. So here we got our little program, right? And test-driven development means we write a test first, and then we develop our method, right? For now, to keep it simple for you guys, let's make our method first, and then write a test to test it afterwards, okay? Because that's easier to think when you first start off as a programmer. It's easier to think that way, all right? So how do we write a method? I'm going to make a method called, something like hello world to console. So that's what I want to do. I want to show my hello world to my console. Here's my method. It's going to be a public. Type with me, guys and girls. Type with me, because if you just watch this, you will not get it. Public, static. It's going to return something. It's going to return a string, right? So we got to test it. It's got to return something in order for us to test it, right? And it's going to be called hello world to console. A big long name. Here's our method, right? Hey, how come it's giving us an underline? How come? How come? How come? Huh? What do you mean? It's okay here. It's because I'm expecting a string. I got to return a string, right? So let's kind of talk about a string. Our string, which is our hello world string, here's our hello world string, right? It's going to be equal to, we're going to assign it a value, which is kind of bad form, but let's put it in there anyway, right? Let's assign it a value, our hello world string of hello world. Hello, and we're going to make it kind of hello world with an exclamation mark, a specific form. We want your hello world to look like this: hello, comma, world, exclamation mark, with a space in between. And you might say, that's pretty, that's crazy. Why do you care so much about how it sounds? Because that's how we test. We make sure that the output is exactly what I asked you to do, right? Okay, cool, this is cool. Now, I want to do a console.writeLine. Remember those? Console. Oops, if I can actually type. Console.writeLine. Yes. I'm trying to do the long way first. Okay, so console.writeLine, and if you put in there hello world string, right? Here we go. Hello world string, and I want to return my string that I'm saying, which is hello world, right? The hello world string. I want to return the hello world string too. Now there's no errors, right? Would you agree? This is okay. This is my little method, right? Let's put some comments in here, right? Something like my comment header, right? In my comment header, I'm going to put something like this. I'm going to say at description, this is my hello world method, right? It's my hello world method. And it takes returns a string, right? Which is a string. And I look at me and go, what is he doing this? Why is he putting these comments this way? How come? How come? This is the standard way we do documentation in the real world, right? It returns a string, right? That's what it returns. which is my hello world string. Put that in there. Hello world string. And we can also put something in like @method if you want to. @method. Right? Hello world console. Probably want to put the description before the method. Sorry. And I'm timing out again, of course. But that's okay. We have time to do this again. Okay, we did a little documentation there of what it is, right? And we're going to save that. Hey, I want to use this thing. I want to test it here locally in my program file because I'm doing it all in one in the same file, right? So let's put it in there. How do I call the hello world method so it works? Anyone remember? This is kind of, what's that? Hello world, yeah, hello world to console, right? We do that, right? So we call the method, and maybe I'll put a little, you know, comment, an inline comment that says call the hello world console method. Whatever, right? Okay, cool. Well, we have a problem, right? It'll work. Let's try this out. And we're doing it backwards, remember, right? If I click start, it's going to flash. It's going to go whoop, whoop, right? But if I press Control F5, right, it'll kind of come up with this, right, which is what we want. And notice that we say hello world. That's kind of the output that we want. Hello world, right? This is all good. Everyone else has this, I'm hoping, right? Very simple program. Hey, cool, we just wrote a method. Guess what we need to do? We need to do a commit. So I'm going to click on my Team Explorer, and I'm going to say this. Notice that I have one change, right? What I want to do here is I'm going to say added, and yours will be slightly different if you're using Visual Studio 13. Hello world to console method. So I added, right? And click commit stage, or yours will be commit. And if I want to sync, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to go sync, or yours, in your case, it's going to be unsync commits, as an example, and it's going to sync up to the master branch, right? There it is. And if I look on my up here in my GitHub repository, refresh, notice now I have 3 commits, right? Here's the first one, added my gitignore file, my project files, and here's my added hello world to console method. And if I click on there, you can actually see the changes that I made up on GitHub to show you what I've done, what I've added in there, right? That's what this does, GitHub, right? So it keeps track of all your changes for you up online in the cloud, like it's cool. All right, let's go back in here. So we've done this, but I want to write a test, and we're going to go over this again because we're running out of time. So don't worry about it if you don't get it the first time you've seen it, right? But this is your hello world test. I can't write a test in here. This is my actual method, my program, right? I need to create another solution, another part of my solution, which is going to be another project. Now, you guys have been able to create new projects, more than one project in a solution, yeah? If you haven't, the way you do it is this. You click on your solution, you right-click, and you're going to go add, right? Add new project. This is something new for most of you, right? Let's check this out. Under your project, you're going to click on test. You should see a test area. Under Visual C#, you should see test, yeah? Everybody? Click on unit test project. Notice that the name of the unit test project is unit test project 1. That's insufficient. We want to test our project, and our project is kind of like the hello world project, right? Or hello world, right? So we're going to call it, let's say this hello world test project. That's really what it is. And then we'll press OK. Notice that it adds in an additional project in here, this hello world test project in here inside of our solution, right? 2 projects, the COMP123, summer 2016 lesson 1 project, and then the hello world test project. Okay, hey, we added a project, time for another commit, right? Let's go do a commit. We're gonna go here on the Team Explorer. I'm gonna press home. I'm gonna go to changes. Notice that I added all these things inside my project, new project. In my case, for 2015, I got to click this plus. For you, you just got to enter a new. You got to enter a new commit message on the top there in 2013, right? And here's my commit message: added test project, right? And then click commit. Now that I've added that into my project commit, I'm going to sync it up. I haven't synced it up yet. I commit it first, and then that's local repo. And then I got to push it to my remote repo by going home, sync. In your case, you got to click push, or you might just click sync. And if I click push, it's going to push it up to my remote repo. It's a different control for you. If I look online, if I refresh now, I have 4 commits with my added test project, right? So it keeps on adding more and more commits. Cool, I've got my test project, but it's useless. It doesn't do anything yet. What do I need inside my test project? First of all, I need to refresh or rename everything. And the first thing I want to rename is my unit test. I could rename it. See my unit test CS file? I want to rename this thing so it's a hello world test, right? So let's rename that. So rename. And we're going to call this hello world unit test. Right, this is the first one we've done, right? It's going to ask me, do I want to make changes everywhere else? Yes, I do. It's going to change my public class to hello world unit test as well, right? Notice that my namespace is messed up, eh? My namespace is hello world test project. And my program is, my namespace for my program is COMP123, summer 2016, lesson 1. Can I see stuff from my program file the way I have it right now with a different namespace? For you guys who don't know, the answer is no, you can't. In order for you to look at different files, you have to be in the same namespace, or we can create something called a reference. This is new stuff for you guys in C#. So follow along here for a second, I'll record it. How do I do that? I right-click on my project. Here's my project, my test project, not my COMP123 summer 2016 lesson 1 project, this project here. Right-click, and I'm gonna add a new reference. Here's my reference. Don't worry, we're going to do this again next class, okay? It's not the first and last time you're going to see this. When I create a new reference, it's going to take me here to my reference manager. Under projects, right, I want to click COMP123 summer 2016 lesson 1. It'll look a little different for you if you're using Visual Studio 2015, but you should still be able to see this. You have to click onto it. Then I'm going to press OK. Why? Because now I have access as a reference to this COMP123-S2016-lesson 1. I need to do that because if I want to access my method that exists in lesson 1, I need to share it, right? Okay, this isn't just a test method. This is the, look at what I named it here. I named this hello world to console. I'm going to copy this for a second here in my original project and go back over here and paste. Here's my paste. Hello world to console test method, right? And the reason why I'm putting that in there is so that way I know that this is the test method for the hello world to console method. Okay, that's what this thing is. I just renamed it. Okay, cool. I saved that. I've added a reference, right? But I need to access it. And the way to do that is a couple ways. First of all, my class, this is my class. Here's a change you need to make. My class has to be public. The default protection level for all things, if you don't otherwise say them, is private. So you have to go in here and go public, right? Otherwise, I won't be able to see it. Public class program, public static string, hello world to console. Those things need to be public. That's the access modifier. All right, that's number 1. 2, once I've got this done, and I'm timing out, I know, I need to do this stuff, which is arrange, right? What's the next one? Act and assert. Those are the 3 steps I need to take inside my test project, right? When I arrange, I need to declare a string, right? Because what am I arranging? I'm trying to test out if the hello world string is correct, right? So I'm going to say something like this. Expected result is equal to hello world. Right? Let's make it wrong, actually. We have to make it fail first, right? So hello world. Is this right? No, because it's got to have hello, comma, underscore, space, exclamation mark. So remember, I have to make it fail first, right? And then I want to have in my act another string, which it's going to be result. Here's my result, which is equal to, and this is where it gets funky, see if it works out for you, right? Is COMP, it is COMP123. Look how it comes up. Because I added a reference, I can see COMP123 S2016 lesson 1 as a namespace. It should come up for you too. And then I'm going to put dot program. If you can't do this, something's not right. And dot hello world to console. Right, there's my actual, that's my method. I'm just going to do this for a second so you can see it all in its glory. There we go. That's what it should look like. So my hello world to console is going to output a result. Here's my expected result. Okay, now here's the assert piece. Don't worry, you're going to get all this. I need to use the word assert. Assert dot, and I'm going to use r equal. This is very common. Assert dot r equal. And I'm going to say this. Is the expected result, right? Expected results. And the results, are they the same? And if it's right, the test will pass. If it's wrong, the test will fail. Simple as that. That's your test. Let's save it, and let's do a test. In order for us to see the test, we need to bring up our Test Explorer, and you can get that by going to View, and you want to look at Test Explorer. Somewhere down here. It could be under the Test Tools. There's Test. You can also run your tests like this. If you run all your tests, if you go to Test Run, if you have a test project in place, it'll actually run all your tests. Let's try it out. So if I go run all tests, right, it's going to generate a result. And I see that in the Test Explorer on the left. Notice how my test result failed. You need to get the test result window. For me, it should say failed. Because remember, we want a red, green refactor. Red is fail. Green is pass. And then refactor, right? Let's fix it so it works. Don't worry, if you can always watch the video to see this work if you miss it. So now, here's my expected result. This is the wrong expected result, right? My expected result should actually be hello, comma, world, exclamation mark. There it is. And I'm going to save this thing. Here's my test. And now I'm going to run all my tests again. And if we're lucky, right, then it should pass. There's pass. So what am I doing? Let's recap. And before I recap, I'm going to go push it to my Team Explorer, right? I'm going to go home, my Team Explorer, I'm going to go to Changes. Here's all the changes I made. I'm going to stage all these changes in Visual Studio 2015. I'm going to say, added successful test for hello world to console. And then commit. And then I'm going to push it by going sync, push. Now, worst case scenario, when you watch this video, you can always look at my code online, test to see if my code matches with yours, right? That's the first important thing. If you missed something, right? That's the one thing. And the other thing is, you can always see this piece, this test window, this Test Explorer, if you want to find out where that is in Visual Studio 2013. It's not here, obviously, because I can't see it. Maybe under other windows. Let's look under other windows. Maybe it's here. Sometimes it is. I can't seem to locate it myself. But it's got to be a window you pull up because you need to see it. Otherwise, you won't see your tests. Right? Because it's not here. It's not under Test Explorer. It's not here. But you need to pull it up. Next time we get together, I'll have the solution. I'll tell you where it is to look in 2013 and 2015 for that test window. Oh, here it is under Windows. Windows, Test Explorer. There we go. That should be the same thing for 2013, right? And if you pull up your Test Explorer window, you'll see this, test or passed. Yeah? Okay, that's where it is. Questions before we depart? I know we're running overtime, and I apologize for that for people going to their next class. Yes? It's not Friday? That's incorrect. We'll make it Friday. Thank you for that. I'll do that. I'll make that change right now. What else? Anyone else have a question? Guys, thank you so much. See you Friday. We'll go over this stuff again in detail. Make sure you get it all. Don't worry. Don't panic. Right? It's the first time we're getting together. Thank you so much.